I'm Tim. We're here at Abel's house, hosted by Wealthy Habits. I'm with my boy Orville. Ask him some questions after his badass set. By the way, awesome set.
Thank you, brother. I had a
Loved
blast.
We got some questions for you right here.
Let's do it. Let's run them.
I bet you're not going to expect any of these, except the first couple.
Okay.
Because this one you've been asked.
Worst.
This one you've been asked.
Let's hear the crazy. Let's go with the hardest question first, just to get it out of the way.
Okay. You know what? This is the hardest.
All right, good.
What's your favorite nightclub in Chicago?
Ooh, that is tough. That is really tough. I mean, all my favorite clubs are closed now. Like
that's fair. That's
like
fair.
Starting off at Crowbar, that was really awesome while it was open, and then we had like an almost 10-year run of my party Porn and Chicken at Evil Olive. Then that closed. Then we moved the party to the Mid, and then that closed. And right now,
all
like,
OG spots.
The ones that are still open, like I can't say just one. I'd have to say Spy Bar and Prism are the ones that I can walk in and feel like I'm at home every single time it's open. So
yeah,
it's a tough call. Like I've been, the first time I DJ at Spy Bar was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know you've been at it, so you have strong relations with those spots.
Yeah,
so I can see why they'd be at your top favorites.
I mean, like it's like choosing your favorite child almost. I feel like I can't like just pick one that's like
that's the best. No one's gonna
favorite
top that analogy because that's the
you know
best way to put it.
So I don't want to hate. But yeah, there's a lot of clubs that came and left. The ones that are still going, I'd say, that are still active. Spy Bar just reopened like last week.
Right, and Soundbar.
And Soundbar also did. They're only doing some select dates so far still.
Right.
I have a ton of love and support for Soundbar also. So it's really tough to just. That's like, again, I can't pick the favorite child, so I'm not gonna. That was a good one. That's a good tough one.
I knew that'd be
good
tough.
Way to warm
it's our
bit.
simplest one, but I knew it'd be tough. Here's a little easy one. Okay. I think easy, but why are you here?
I'm here to have fun, man. Like I've known Abel Gray for a hot minute. You know, we've done some Ableton production stuff together.
Right.
And he invited me to come out. I'm like, why not? Like, this is a early. So I have like 4 other events I got to get to today. This is happening during the daytime. It's beautiful. It's a great pool. Right. Great location.
And you've been killing with it events.
Quality production.
But what I've noticed about you is when you're getting name dropped recently, a lot of it is in the studio. You've been producing a lot. Am I right?
Yeah, I've always been producing. You know, like like my whole career, I've been producing music in one respect or another over the years. So I've been working on solo projects. We've worked on a lot of music with Porn and Chicken, and we still are. I have a new side project called Adoptable, which is doing some experimental mid-tempo bass stuff. We had a couple singles and coming out, and helping a ton of other producers.
And Adoptable is with James.
Yeah, James Dedinho, aka Jaded, is our new side project. We have 2 singles coming out. Our 3rd single is dropping in about 2 weeks on the brand new Asteroid Records, and we're getting some good traction with that project. And yeah, it's just been I'm constantly making music for fun and for other clients and stuff like that. It's been good. So.
I mean, you know, I respect you hardcore, and I know you're moving units, so I'm always watching you. I always am.
Hell yeah.
And I appreciate everything you do for everybody. Just so you know,
I try. I'm a firm believer in karma. It's like what you put out in the universe is what it comes back to you. So
facts.
The more I can share and help other people, the more other people are going to share stuff and help with me. Just like getting invited to play this beautiful party today. So,
hey, it's a one cycle.
Exactly.
And we know that because we cross paths a lot.
Exactly.
So we know that more than anyone. Okay, well, here's one that might benefit you to answer because you're dropping a song soon. What would you what streaming service do you use most? Spotify, Apple Music, or Pandora?
So out of those 3, lately it's been most, I'd say about 80% Apple Music and 20% Spotify, but that's just for listening to music. Like, I know a lot of people listen to more music, I think, now on Spotify, but typically when I'm just like, let's just say
you use Apple Music for yourself.
If I'm just listening to music at home, it's usually like not dance music stuff. I'm going to listen to some metal or some classic rock, or when I was up in Colorado, I was listening to bluegrass up in the mountains. Just, it's more about like the setting. But when I'm listening for the sake of discovering more electronic music to play, It's more so DJ sets or podcasts or more so Spotify. So it's just like I use different platforms for different scenarios and different situations.
Right,
so
right.
It just depends. Like I said, if I'm just trying to listen to some new, if I'm trying to like listen to new cutting edge music, I'm listening to other DJ sets or podcast DJ sets and stuff like that. And you can listen to those on Apple's podcast or on Spotify. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, I feel like I relate to you on that because I use the big platforms for the new hits, the top hits.
Yeah.
But then I use SoundCloud for like stuff that you can't find anywhere else.
Exactly. There's a lot of stuff that's on SoundCloud that's not releasable on the major platforms, whether they're bootlegs or just they're not working. Stuff that's independent releases that aren't on bigger labels and stuff like that.
Facts.
It's a little. It just really depends on what specific purpose I'm utilizing. But I kind of use most of them. Mostly Apple Music, Spotify, and then when I'm shopping for music, I'll go on Beatport. But if I'm just want to hear some new stuff that other people are playing, I relied a lot on podcast mixes because all the clubs were shut down for the last year and a half.
Right.
But now that stuff's back open, I could actually go out, go in my backyard in Chicago and just hear what some new shit that I haven't heard before. So
right. I feel that.
Yeah, good. No, all good.
Okay, now here's Abel came up with these questions, so don't call me crazy.
All right, you're crazy.
Give up on social media or eat the same thing for dinner for the rest of your life?
No comment. No, just kidding. No, that's a tough one. Like social media, I kind of started like when I first started DJing and really putting my music out there. When I started DJing, like MySpace was the big social media of the time, and being on there, that got me my first big DJ gigs. I was able to meet people around the country and like put a tour together just for the sake of being on that platform. Before that, before I started DJing, I was in a whole bunch of bands, metal bands. Like this tattoo is the logo for my band. It used to be called American Made Monsters, AMM, and we did it like all the shows and fans and friends. We played, and for fans and friends we made, it was all pre-social media. So like I kind of remember the time before it was there. So I know it's not impossible to do. Like let's say if you're trying to do anything with music, it's not impossible to do it without social media. But nowadays it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, I agree.
If I had the choice, like I know that if I said, all right, if I could choose to eat anything else, I know that it would hurt my music career. I wouldn't meet as many people. I wouldn't probably get as many bookings. Maybe, I don't know. So I know it would suffer, but I like variety is the spice of life at the same time. So food is a but if I had to really choose, it's a tough question. So
that is a tough one, especially because you, like myself, we've made a lot of our living off social media in the last 5 years, more than ever.
Exactly.
Especially pre-COVID. I don't even know how some events would have worked without it, so I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, it's like there is like an underground movement, but all the stuff that I've seen or that happens outside that's not on social media, it's a lot smaller scale than anything, all the major stuff. So I'd probably say I would eat the same meal every day, just because I know that I wouldn't be able to go and tour the world or go like play music and do cool stuff like this. Probably not.
And I feel like there's always one meal we like enough.
Right.
I think I did Chipotle once for like 2 months straight. Anyway, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's another tough question. Which meal would it be?
Which meal would it be?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have enough memory to record that.
I know,
we would
right?
Go crazy trying to.
We could talk all day.
Okay. Well, here's a good one. Would you rather be surrounded by people who brag all the time or by people who complain all the time?
Oh, that's like, those are both scenarios of hell for me. Like if I had to, I feel like they're equally. That's like choosing. It's not a matter of choosing the lesser of two evils, because they're both like equally. I probably have to choose the brag all the time, because at least you're more in an optimistic environment versus being in an entirely pessimistic environment.
Yeah, right.
Overly bragging, like it's
I feel like I can emotionally get around overly bragging as well.
yeah. I
Complaining
mean,
would just drain your energy.
there's like doing this. I'm already. I mean, anyone that does anything, you're gonna be around like a fair amount of people that do both. But if I had to choose, I'd probably try to stay on the more positive side, even if it was all bullshit.
Right.
I might be shooting myself in the foot with that, but I'd probably choose overly bragging all the time.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. I have both types of friends, and when I try to think of who I'd rather be with all the time in big groups, I think bragging seems a little easier.
Yeah,
because you can just ignore that. You can't really ignore complaining, no matter how you do it. Complaining just gets to me.
Yeah, it's just really about negativity, and I'm not a proponent of negativity. I know things are negative where people have that mentality. I try to steer clear
There's
as much as
nothing negative
possible.
about porn or chicken,
No.
or anything you do or done. So
And that's with design. We've basically designed all the negativity out of it.
right. Okay, well, here's my last question.
All right, cool.
This one, again, because they're gonna tag it on me, but this is a Abel-inspired question.
Okay.
All songs exist, but they are all performed by Pitbull. So every song Pitbull's singing them, or only one Pitbull song exists, but it's performed by every artist in their own interpretation of it. And if you've done open format gigs, you know Pitbull runs the world.
Man, so all right, so every song is sung by Pitbull. Just sung, only the vocals,
Yep, are always him.
or they're only Pitbull songs.
No, they're all sung by him.
I'd probably have
So
to.
you're only gonna hear his voice through an MP3 for the rest of your life.
I'd probably have to choose all songs sung by Pitbull, just because it's just like that opens the door to anything. Like, I'm sure that Pitbull is talented enough to be able to execute a variety of styles in his vocal delivery.
That's fair.
Most people maybe only are familiar with his certain sound, but with enough practice and enough time, he could probably nail most contemporary vocal styles. Where
That's honestly the most enlightening outlook on that.
yeah, so I would get bored if it was only one artist all the time. I can't listen for. I do enjoy listening to one album at a time, but after that, it's time to move on. I want to hear a different variety of whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, definitely it would be Pitbull singing all the other songs if I had to choose.
You know what? When I read these questions, I was so indifferent about that one. So you skewed me now.
Yeah,
With your convincing.
I know that. Yeah, some singers are definitely more versatile than others.
Right.
Like look at Weird Al Yankovic. He imitates everyone.
Yeah,
and
true.
If it was all the songs sung by Weird Al, we'd be in good shape. We wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
Really, but I'm sure Pitbull could just execute enough variation to keep it interesting.
I
if you had to
think so.
choose.
Better Pitbull than some others. I will say that.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, I appreciate your time. What's
you
your
for
track
having me.
called that's coming out?
Or
you haven't named it
newest,
yet?
adoptable single that's
Yeah.
going to be coming out in a couple weeks is called Pressure.
Pressure?
Coming out on Asteroid Records. It's going to be on all platforms.
Okay.
So take a look for that one. The last single we released was called Brain Dance. And be on the lookout for some more Porn and Chicken music. We just we're finalizing some touches on a track we worked on with Rain Man, formerly of Corella, that's going to be coming out really soon, and some new stuff. So
Dude, you're awesome. I've always looked up to you. I started doing Nightlife, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And I always heard your name, other names, this and that. And I'm actually honored to sit here, just so you know.
Well,
it means a lot that we
hey,
can
man,
do this.
we're
So
just
that's love. Your set was killer, and we're having a good
thanks
time.
for a great interview.
Let's jump in the pool.
Hell yeah.
That's love, dude.
All right, peace. Thanks.